Zicam knows that when you live life to the fullest, you never want to let a cold slow you down. With Zicam's cold shortening products, you can actually shorten colds when taken at the first sign. And with the winter chill in the air, you need the #1 cold shortening brand to help shorten a cold when taken at the first sign this season. Because you should never let a cold stop you from missing out on your favorite moments of the season. Find Zicam in your local cold and flu aisle.
O ancestors, blacker than 1,000 midnights, African ancestors, it is to you that we, your children, give respect and honor. O ancestors, we call upon you and welcome you in this place. African ancestors, let your presence fill this place. O ancestors who have been purposely excluded from the history books so that the world may not know of your greatness. Our African ancestors who gave civilization to the world. Our African ancestors who gave the arts to the world. Our African ancestors who gave God consciousness to the world. Our African ancestors who gave music to the world. Our African ancestors who gave mathematics to the world. Our African ancestors who gave the sciences to the world. Our African ancestors who gave philosophy to the world. O ancestors, we thank you for devoting your life to make a future for us, your children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. Now stand with us, strengthen us, guide us, teach us, and protect us from the snare of our enemies. Rise up, O African ancestors, and let our enemies be scattered. And give us the wisdom and the boldness to deal with our oppressors and those who would hinder the liberation and empowerment of our people. Rise up, O African ancestors, and live in us. And we will not fail to honor you. We will not fail to respect you. We will not fail to hear you. And we will not betray you. Ashe.
Mental Salvation Radio, Enoch 7th Prophet, every Saturday at 12 p.m. on Wow U Radio. That's www.wowradio.net. You're going to hear some uplifting music and a little bit of storytelling. Yeah. Hey.
Fellas, ladies, do you want to stand out in the crowd? Do you want to continue being unique when it comes to fashion? Well, I have the ultimate solution that's custom made just for you. The owner, Sandra Clark of Jazzy Ass Designs, will add spice to your wardrobe. Follow her on Instagram at Jazzy Ass Designs. That's JAZEAZ Designs or www.sandraclarkdesigns.com. That's CHANDRA ClarkDesigns.com. She'll be waiting for you.
Have you been looking for all natural hair and skin products to use for both yourself and your family? At Royal Keeper Shop, we have all natural oils, shampoos, conditioners, butters, sprays, face products, and lots more. Visit us at www.royalkeepersproducts.com. See us on Instagram at Royal Keepers Shop. Also, follow our main page if you have locks at locksworld_one love. Thank you. See you soon.
Welcome to another installment of Mental Salvation Radio. I'm your host, Enoch 7th Prophet, and today's date is July 4th, 2020, and this is podcast number 10, and today's topic is Nat Turner. We are going to come back with some good news, some great news, and we're going to wish those who have had happy Earth Days and birthday celebrations when we return. So stay locked. Mental Salvation Radio.
El Selassie is the champion. Oh, is the only King of Kings. Is a King of Kings. King of Kings is he. Conquering Lion of Judah. Triumphantly we all must sing. All must sing. All must sing. I search and I search this great book of mine. In the Revelation, look what I find. El Selassie is the chaplain. All the world should know. All should know. All should know. That man is the
Mental Salvation Radio, thank you once again for tuning in to podcast number 10. And today's date is July 4th, 2020. Now, before we get into the good news, well, this is part of the good news, but I would say this, that we are working on, we have been working on and podcasting season 1. So this is podcast number 10. We're ending out season 1 of Mental Salvation Radio, and we're going to do 10 episodes of season 2 of Mental Salvation Radio. So today is the ending of, or the closing chapter of season 1 for Mental Salvation Radio with 10 episodes. And then we will come back on August the 1st, I believe. August the 1st, we will come back and do season 2. So just be on the lookout for a lot of promotions for season 2. And we're going to be working on like getting a Instagram page and maybe a Facebook page. But right now we're probably looking towards more of an Instagram page. And within that Instagram page, we'll still be communicating with the supporters and the listeners through that Instagram page of Mental Salvation Radio. So each season will have 10 episodes. And this season of season 1 has been 10 episodes. And we'd like to definitely big up and give thanks to Wow You Radio, which is Wow Radio. So you can always follow us on Wow Radio at www.wowradio.net/shows. You can always be up to date and keep abreast of what is going on in the indie music, indie news world. There's a lot of shows there's a lot of shows that Wow Radio has been broadcasting. We definitely like to big up Wow Radio, which is a Black-owned music, indie, media, community-based transporter that will allow those to get our words out, to get our message out, to get our positive vibrations going into the world. So we like to big up WOW Radio, Black-owned woman's media, Black media establishment. So we definitely like to big up to them. Also, within the good news, we, Mental Salvation Radio, is now on iHeartRadio. So all of our episodes on all of our podcasts are now on iHeartRadio. But to get the strong media and the loving support from our community, continue to dial in to www.wowradio.net for any updates, live shows in which we're doing now. We're streaming this live. And I always tell you guys that I never go back to edit anything. I always put it up and give it to you like it is. So we are on iHeartRadio. We're also on Apple Podcast. We're also on Google Podcast. So you can always listen in to your phone. If you missed a live show, you can always double back and go to www.wowuradio.net/shows, find Mental Salvation Radio, and you can listen to it right then and there, or you can download it to your desktop and listen to it later. With all that being said, I thank each and every one who have been listening and supporting and chiming in to all of our podcast shows. I definitely really appreciate it. And I will always reiterate and say, this is July 4th, 2020, just to keep you up on the dates, because I know sometimes I lose track of dates as well. I like to big up to our sponsors within this good news. Big up to our sponsors, Royal Keepers Products. It's a hair and skin product. You know, it's good for the hair, it's good for the face, good for the skin, it's good for the overall body and wellness of your outer layers of you. And you can follow them on www.royalkeepersproducts.com. That's royalkeepersproducts.com. Follow them on Instagram at Royal Keepers Shop, and or if you have locks, natural hair, you want to look at some natural beauty on that page as well. With both pages have all of that. You can go to LocksWorld_1Love, and the word one is spelled out ONE love. So it's LocksWorld_1Love. Also, I use this product. The product is great. It's good for my hair. It's good for my skin. It's good for my overall health when it comes to my skin. I know at one point in time I had this rash on the top of my foot, and I used that product faithfully. And my rash disappeared. Come to find out, it was some eczema. I had the eczema on my foot. And if you use any type of cream or any type of thing that you always got to cover your feet up, or your hands and things of that nature, it's difficult to relieve the stress of the rash or the stress of the eczema if it's on your foot. So with that being paired up with making sure that I was always giving my feet health, I use that product as well, and I have no issues right now. Had no issues in about 2 years dealing, having this product and using this product. Same thing with the hair growth. All right, and our next sponsor is Jazzy Ass Designs. I want to big up to Jazzy Ass Designs. The owner, her name is Sandra Clark of Jazzy Ass Designs. So you can follow Sandra Clark on her social media sites, which is Instagram. We have Jazzy Ass Designs. That's JAZEEASS Designs, and or you can go to her website, which is www.sandraclarkdesigns.com. That's Sandra, Chandra, Clark Designs. I've also worked with Sandra Clark as well on photo shoots and keeping her up to date with the photos that she needs and taking all the photos. And we will do a photo shoot every year because she was coming out with product all the time. It was all the time. And I know she works day and night, as well as Royal Keepers products work day in and day out, and day in and day in and day out and day out, however you want to put it. But Sandra Clark also, is a great person. So we want to support our Black-owned businesses. We want to support our women-owned businesses as well. I want to also big up to Ori Fields, who's also the owner and the founder of Royal Keepers product. And also Sandra Clark, who is the founder and the owner of Jazzy Ass Designs. Now, in the future, if you want to be a sponsor of Mental Salvation Radio, just reach out to me on my social media sites, or I will actually start to give you guys a email that you can reach out if you want to be a sponsor for Mental Salvation Radio for season 2. All right, so be on the lookout for that. Now, also in the good news, we want to wish a lot of folks happy Earth Day for July. I know we're in the 4th day of July, and the birthdays are already starting off. So I want to big up to the Duke of Comedy. The Duke of Comedy goes by the name of Terrence Hawkins. The Duke of Comedy from Washington, D.C. His birthday was July 1st. Big up to you, the Duke of Comedy, and we wish you well and many more happy Earth Days. And on that same note, big up to Larry Spriggs. Big up to Larry Spriggs. He also had a birthday on July 1st, 2020. And these particular two brothers I've been knowing for a very, very, very long time. They're one of our OGs in the old neighborhood that I grew up in, Northwest Park. And I never knew they were cousins until way later. Like, that was crazy. I never knew they were cousins until way later in our adult lives and things of that nature. So happy Earth Day to you two brothers. Hope and wish you many, 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 many more. Also, want to shout out a birthday, July 3rd, to my cousin, Cynthia Harrison. Big up to Cynthia Harrison. Happy Earth Day to you, cuzzo. Definitely appreciate you and everything you have done for the world and for your family, and for the singing movement in the gospel world as well. I want to say I love you and thank you so much for being amongst us and doing what you feel is right for your soul and your mind. So thank you so much. Happy Earth Day to you, and happy Earth Day to everyone who is celebrating and will celebrate a birthday in July. I know in July 31st, since we won't be on Mental Salvation Radio and we're going to be coming back August the 1st for the 2nd season, I want to wish a happy Earth Day to my homeboy Chris Lassane, whose Earth Day is July 31st. All right. And I also will be celebrating like a 1-year anniversary with Ori, and we will be celebrating a 1-year anniversary on that day as well. So big up to everyone who may be celebrating Earth Days in July, wedding anniversaries, your boo thing anniversaries, what else? And all those anniversaries in the big whole thing, you know what I mean? And especially if you might be having a baby in July. So we want to just big up to you. All right. And we'll be right back. Mental Salvation Radio. with our topic, Nat Turner. We'll be right back.
Mental Salvation Radio, Enoch 7th Prophet, every Saturday at 12 p.m. on Wow U Radio. That's www.wow.radio.net. You're going to hear some uplifting music and a little bit of storytelling.
My passion about ancestry comes from the fact that I was an only child who didn't have family. I see all my friends doing family outings and family this, and I would spend weekends just lost in ancestry. My first one that I found was Liz.
I was also an only child, and there were no big holiday gatherings where I got to know cousins or aunts. It's because of ancestry we've kind of become bi-coastal besties.
The holidays are meant to be shared with family. Start today during our holiday sale at Ancestry.com.
Zycam knows that when you live life to the fullest, you never want to let a cold slow you down. With Zycam's cold shortening products, you can actually shorten colds when taken at the first sign. And with the winter chill in the air, you need the #1 cold shortening brand to help shorten a cold when taken at the first sign this season. Because you should never let a cold stop you from missing out on your favorite moments of the season. Find Zycam in your local cold and flu aisle.
Yeah.
From home, I and I longing to go home. Within a red, green and gold robe. Come on, 12 tribe of Israel. Come on, 12 tribe of Israel. Hota jam dung lanya. A whole heap of mix up. A whole heap of pedo. Come on, 12 tribe of Israel. Come on, 12 tribe of Israel. Yes, Jah. Christopher Columbus is a jam blasted lion. Christopher Columbus is a jam blasted lion. Yes, Jah. He's a lion. Yes, Jah. He's a lion. Yes, Jah. He's a lion. Yes, Jah. Columbus. He's a lion. Yes, Jah. Christopher Columbus. He's a lion. Do you know social living is the best? 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 Takes behavior to get along. Lots of behavior to get along. Do you really, really know that? Do you know social living is the best? 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 Live good to right, no fight, uptight. Live good to right, no fight, uptight. Do you really, really know that? Do you know social living is the best? 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 Live good to right, no fight, uptight. Live good to right, no fight, uptight. Do you really, really know that? Do you know social living is the best? 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 Do you know social living is the best?
Nat Turner was an enslaved African American preacher who led the 4-day rebellion of enslaved and free black people in South Hampton County, Virginia in 1831. Born into slavery on October the 2nd, 1800 in Southampton, Virginia, in an area with more blacks than whites. Turner was recorded as Nat by Benjamin Turner, the man enslaving this family. When Benjamin Turner died in 1819, Nat was inherited as a property by Benjamin's son, Samuel Turner. For most of his life, he was known as Nat, but after the 1831 rebellion, he was widely referred to as Nat Turner. Turner knew little about the background of his father, who was believed to have escaped from slavery when Turner was a young boy. Turner spent his entire life in Southampton County, a plantation area where enslaved people comprised the majority of the population. Turner learned how to read and write at a young age. He was identified as having natural intelligence and quickness of abrasions surpassed by few. He grew up deeply religious and was often seen fasting, praying, or reading the stories of the Bible. He frequently had visions when he interpreted his messages from God, and these visions influenced his life. He ran away at the age of 21 from Samuel Turner, the man enslaving him. He returned a month later after becoming delirious from hunger and receiving a vision which told him to return to the service of my earthly master. He had a second vision in 1824. While working in the fields under his new enslaver, Thomas More. In it, the Savior was about to lay down the yoke he had borne for the sins of men, and then the great day of judgment was at hand.
Chakra music. Chakra music.
Nod your head to this midnight marauder shit. Nat Turner with the burner, you can't tell a lie. Who would be your alibi? Coming for your defense. Never half step in my mind's a lethal weapon. Revving, make 'em run, shooting up the mainstream poster. I've been doper than the dopest. Now you know this, ain't no hocus pocus. Just cross promotion, hoping that my friends will spread the word. But that's absurd if you think about it. Bittersweet, just a taste of heaven. Slaves rebellion in the process. You can find them in the projects, nodding their head to this midnight marauder shit. Nat Turner with the burner, you can't tell a lie. Midnight marauder shit. Glove didn't fit on that end of the cold shit. Watch.
Ancestry makes the perfect gift to give people because it literally blew my mind.
It's literally like you're giving them something that they would have no knowledge of.
Which is very important because for us to basically be able to find our missing family or to see my indigenous heritage confirmed inside there. It's one gift, but it's so many different things.
Show someone where they came from this holiday season with Ancestry DNA, now on sale at Ancestry.com.
Zicam knows that when you live life to the fullest, you never want to let a cold slow you down. With Zicam's cold shortening products, you can actually shorten colds when taken at the first sign. And with the winter chill in the air, you need the #1 cold shortening brand to help shorten a cold when taken at the first sign this season. Because you should never let a cold stop you from missing out on your favorite moments of the season. Find Zicam in your local cold and flu aisle.
What you say, cause words can sink ships. Get a grip, keep it real tight like Virgin puss. Mother Mary, the weight I carry is heavy. Holy hell, Bloody Mary. Southampton, get your freedom or die trying. Midnight marauder shit, nod your head to this. Nat Turner with the burner, you can't tell a lie. Midnight marauder shit.
Nat Turner was born. He was then almost 31 years of age at the time of the revolt. The following descriptions of him was given, together with the announcements of a reward of $500 for his capture by the governor of Virginia, John Floyd. Nat is between the ages of 30 and 35 years old, 5 feet 6 or 8 inches high, weighs between 150 and 160 pounds, rather bright complexion, but not a mulatto, broad shoulders, large flat nose, large eyes, broad flat feet, rather knock-kneed, walks brisk and active, hair on top of the head very thin, no beard except on the upper lip and the top of the chin, a scar on one of his temples, also one on the back of his neck, a large knot on one of his bones of the right arm, near the wrist, produced by a blow. Very naturally, William Lloyd Garrison, upon his description, pointed to those scars as explaining as explaining Turner's actions by the Richmond Enquirer, assured its readers that Turner got 2 of his bruises in fights with Negroes, and one of them that on his temple through a mule's kick. Of course, these particular descriptions accepts the explanation of this Southern newspaper, and also points out correctly that Turner stated his last master, Joseph Travis, had been kindly, but Nat had other masters like Benjamin Turner and Bruton Moore, and he had Mr. Darby's amidst of this particular story. Welcome to the topic, Nat Turner. We'll be right back. Mental Salvation Radio.
Serve it in the line. Run up and high. Serve it and the line. Roll up and a mile. Too long they have to roll. Trapper in a lock them in them go. Too long they have to roll. Come against the longer to them foe. Johnny I roll. Liver I roll. Them coach through wild walls. Become them cultural lords. Oh, they're cultural lords. Become a cultural war. I sail away, longer way, back to the day, longer way, back to the day. Day long break, for longer day. The man a solar on a day, the man a solar on a day. Isaac, just spirit rising. And so I'll sing unto the Almighty. And so I'll sing, and so I know, ma, another word, yeah, another word, yeah.
As a matter of fact, whether Turner's scars were caused by the kick of a mule or the whip of a white man, or both, it seems fairly clear that his motivation was not personal vengeance. The question of motivation, both of Nat and of his followers, will shortly be discussed in detail. Here, sacrifice it to say that conclusion of the examination will be that Nat Turner sought the liberation of the Negro people. But to return to the personality of Turner, an examination of evidence reveals an high intellectual man who finds it impossible to accept the status quo and discovers his realization for his rebellious feelings in religion. And they go on to say that Nat Turner was well educated. He is not well chosen for its impurities for instructions, for formal instructions. Now it also says that Nat himself was unable to account for his ability to read and write, though this is often ascribed to his parents' instructions. But it is certain that he was literate and that he read and reread the Bible. He also appears to have been gifted mechanically. It is possible that he owed part of his revolutionary spirit, all right, to this fantastic black that has excited them in this diabolical deed. Some of them were wounded and so forth and so on. We'll be right back. Mental Salvation Radio.
Chakra music. Chakra music.
Nod your head to this midnight marauder shit. Nat Turner with the burner, you can't tell a lie. Who would be your alibi? Coming for your defense. Never half step in my mind's a lethal weapon. Revving, make them run, shooting up the mainstream poster. I've been doper than the dopest. Now you know this, ain't no hocus pocus. Just cross promotion, hoping that my friends will spread the word. But that's absurd if you think about it. Bittersweet, just a taste of heaven. Slaves rebellion in the process. You can find them in the projects, nodding they head to this midnight marauder shit. Nat Turner with the burner, you can't tell a lie. Midnight marauder shit. Glove didn't fit on that end of the cold shit. Watch what you say, cause words can sink ships. Get a grip, keep it real tight like Virgin puss. Mother Mary, the weight I carry is heavy. Holy hell, Bloody Mary. Southampton, get your freedom or die trying.
So, by the spring of 1828, Nat Turner was convinced that he was ordained for some great purpose in the hands of the Almighty. He heard a loud noise in the heavens while working in his enslaver's fields on May the 12th. Now, May the 12th also, too, is the year of, if you are born in May, you are the zodiac sign is the Taurus, is the bull, is the strong-minded and feisty individual, all right? And then the spirit instantly appeared to me and said, the serpent was loosened, and Christ had laid down the yoke he had borne for the sins of men, and that I shall take it on and fight against the serpent, for the time was fast approaching.
Ancestry makes the perfect gift to give people because it literally blew my mind.
It's literally like you're giving them something that they would have no knowledge of.
Which is very important because for us to basically be able to find our missing family or to see my indigenous heritage confirmed inside there. It's one gift, but it's so many different things.
Show someone where they came from this holiday season with Ancestry DNA, now on sale at Ancestry.com.
Zycam knows that when you live life to the fullest, you never want to let a cold slow you down. With Zycam's cold shortening products, you can actually shorten colds when taken at the first sign. And with the winter chill in the air, you need the #1 cold shortening brand to help shorten a cold when taken at the first sign this season. Because you should never let a cold stop you from missing out on your favorite moments of the season. Find Zycam in your local cold and flu aisle.
Approaching. When the first shall be last, and the last shall be first. We'll be right back. Mental Salvation Radio.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, yeah. If a man is a sinner, Jah will forgive him. Just let your heart be pure and true, and you will see Jah. When a man has done his best, Jah will do the rest. Just let your heart be pure and true, and you will see Jah. The road is rough, my brother.
will do the rest. Jah will do the rest. Jah will do the rest. Jah will guide you. Jah will protect you.
Have you been looking for all natural hair and skin products to use for both yourself and your family? At Royal Keeper Shop, we have all natural oils, shampoos, conditioners, butters, sprays, face products, and lots more. Visit us at www.royalkeepersproducts.com. See us on Instagram at Royal Keepers Shop. Also, follow our main page if you have locks at locksworld_1love. Thank you. See you soon.
So today's date is July the 4th, 2020, and you're listening to podcast number 10. The topic is Nat Turner. And if you're just now tuning in live with us, I'm just here to let you know that today is the closing of season 1. We have shared and, told stories and played uplifting music, all 10 episodes and all 10 podcasts. And then we're closing out the show today with the topic Nat Turner. And then we will be back for season 2 in early August. So August the 2nd or August the 1st, I believe. But just stay locked with us, and we will definitely be giving you guys everything and all the information you need to let you know when we will be back and what we have been doing, when we have been taking this time to regroup and things of that nature. So thank you for everyone who's been tuning in live and downloading the podcast shows. We definitely appreciate it. Now back to July the 4th in the 1800s. Now, Nat Turner, when I've been reading and doing my research, which some of us should have been doing anyway, that Nat Turner himself wanted to do the rebellion on July the 4th. He wanted to do his rebellion on July the 4th because he said, hey, that's when everyone will be celebrating July 4th. There'll be fireworks, there'll be picnics, and there'll be picnics. There will be everyone who is running around happy and glad and rejoiceful of the independence that they have. But the Negro at that time that Nat was coming up, he didn't see that. As I said, he got a sign from the Most High because he was fasting and praying, and he was into the spiritual workings of himself and what was around him, right? So we had a meeting. He was like, all right, everybody. This is not how Nat Turner talks, but I'm just saying. All right, everybody. We gonna strike on July the 4th. All right, when everybody is having a good time, fireworks are popping. They won't know the gunshots. Fireworks are popping, and everybody is feeling free and happy. Someone in that meeting ran and told somebody else, and that other person told the house Negro, and the house Negro told Massa, and Massa told whoever else was masters at that time. And they was aware of what Nat had in mind. So Nat was like, all right, let's change it up. Let's change it up a bit. So Nat Turner, or Nathaniel Nat Turner, was an enslaved man who led a rebellion of enslaved people on August the 21st. Now, let's get back into like the zodiac and the astrological things that were going on. Now, between July 23rd and August the 23rd, that's the Leo. That's the lion. That is the royalness. That is the strength. And that is the astrological sign is the Leo, right? Now, Nat had to refigure all these things out because he found out that they were people who were snitching because they didn't want to leave the master's home. They didn't want to do this rebellion. But Nat was so strong about what he wanted to do. All right. So on August the 21st, 1831, his actions set off a massacre of about 200 black people and a new wave of oppressive legislation prohibiting the education, the movement, and assembly of enslaved people. The rebellion also stiffened pro-slavery, anti-abolishment, or anti-abolitionist convictions that persuaded in that particular region until the American Civil War, 1861 to 65, right? Now, Nat Turner himself, in the summer of 1831, a band of some 40 slaves, only 40, why 40? Why 40? July 4th, then you have August 21st, and the rebellion lasts 3 days. So you have August the 23rd, and you have 4-4, which is actually adds up. 4 plus 4 is 8, and 8 is the affinity number if you turn the 8 sideways. 8 is the build number that we are establishing some camaraderie among comrades, and we're building up and leading up to these particular things. So he had 40 slaves led by Nat Turner attacked slave-owning residents of Southampton County, Virginia, one of the largest and most violent revolts in the history of the young nation. The rebellion took the lives of some 60 white men, women, and children. An outcry against the against the South slave system. The revolt was suppressed within 48 hours, and Nat was gathered by the authorities for, like, he was basically running for a couple of months. Was eventually captured and sentenced to death and executed. Now, the impact of Nat's uprising was monumental. Abolitionists looked for ways to encourage and support future revolts, while white Southerners took revenge on both slave and free African Americans. Nearly 200 blacks, many of them who nothing to do with the rebellion, were beaten, tortured, and murdered by white mobs. We'll be right back. Mental Salvation Radio.
We the Africans will continue to unite, because we are sure by right that the spirit of righteousness shall manifest.
African sky.
under African skies. Yes. All mental scars will be dissolved under African stars. Our future lies under African skies. Yes. When kingdoms fall, empires rise under African skies. Let's organize and centralize the resources we must utilize. Yes, and every man should play his part with that love that's in his heart. Yeah. And all of our dreams will come true. Our future lies under African skies. Yes, all mental scars will be dissolved under African stars. Our future lies under African skies. Yes, when kingdoms fall, empires rise under African skies. Yeah. The first university was built in Mama Africa. We studied astrology, our knowledge was superior. Then they came and took us to the Western Hemisphere, scattered us abroad, leaving us in despair. Our future lies under African skies. Yes. All mental scars will be dissolved under African stars. Our future lies under African skies. Yes. When kingdoms fall, empires rise under African skies. We are God's children. We are God's chosen.
Selassie, the king of kings, the conquering my land, and know I rule all things now. Hey, Mr. Babylon, well, alright, like David with the sling. I tell you about. Rewind, Selassie, the king of kings, the conquering my land, and know I rule all things now. Hey, Mr. Babylon, well, alright, like David with the sling. I tell you about. You build your tired earth, cause it's the only existence. Build your tired earth, to get the youth don't be disobedient. Yo, all good things belongs to Jah. But we bless the Rasta youth, the man go heal the emperor. All good things belongs to Jah. All the earth and its people at the tip of his finger, yeah. All good things belongs to Jah. Come we bless to get the youth and the heal the emperor, yeah. All good things belongs to Jah. Hey. Sky and sea, give us strength and oxygen and energy. Earth healing fruit from the earth to give us vitality. The martial instruction of the sensei. Fruits and vegetables, they get so with plenty. Say just be wise and just be smart. From money in your pocket and chat in your heart. Alright, well, come build your tired earth, cause it's the only existence. Build your tired earth, to get the youth don't be disobedient. All good things belongs to Jah. Him the earth and its people are feel the emperor, yeah. All good things belongs to Jah. Yes, the righteousness. Oh yeah. All the money you see them a spend, all them flossing. It is Rastafari zone. All them the ghost on the hill and car, pretty girl, diamond and pearl is Rastafari zone. All them big building with them big business, giving loans and credits to the poor, and left them in a desperate zone. Monthly bills and speeding ticket about the traffic. Tell me say it's rough out a road. So build your tired earth, cause it's the only existence. Yo. Build your tired earth, yeah. Alright, hey. All good things belongs to Jah. Even the earth and its people are feel the emperor, yeah. All good things belongs to Jah. Hey. All good good things belongs to Jah. Them a tell me about the life after death. Jesus work, still I see make a step on Mr. Babylon get working at the golden text. And that's how them go mess. But he that keep with his first as slumber and sleep. Them left the youths in darkness, pain and stress. Them go pack up them purse with them phone and check. Oh, what a mess, Babylon yes. Me know say King Selassie die different from the rest. Wow, me go tell them long run short yes. And if this Rastafari are dead, alright, all good things belongs to Jah. In the earth and its people are feeling the emperor, yes. All good things belongs to Jah. And the righteousness, well then, I tell you that all good things belongs to Jah. In the earth and its people are feeling the emperor, well, all good things belongs to Jah. All good things belongs to Jah. Earth, sky and sea, give us strength and oxygen and energy. Healing earth from the earth, give us vitality. The martial instruction of the sensei. Herbs and vegetables, they are plenty.
So, on October the 7th, 2016, a movie came out called The Birth of a Nation. Now, if you are like a movie buff and you're a history buff, there was also a movie called The Rebirth of a Nation, right? Which was like a silent film, black and white, describing how the Ku Klux Klan and blah, 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 blah. So just research that movie, Rebirth of a Nation. But I want to talk about, in brief, before we get off the air, The Birth of a Nation came out on October the 7th, 2016. It was directed by a brother by the name of Nat Parker. And if you take off the E, it will be Nat Parker. If you made the E silent and say, oh, it's...
My passion about ancestry comes from the fact that I was an only child who didn't have family. I see all my friends doing family outings and family this, and I would spend weekends just lost in ancestry. My first one that I found was Liz.
I was also an only child, and there were no big holiday gatherings where I got to know cousins or aunts. It's because of ancestry. We've kind of become bi-coastal besties.
The holidays are meant to be shared with family. Start today during our holiday sale at Ancestry.com.
Getting caught in the wrong shoes can interrupt your plans for the day, like when that 10% chance of rain ends up looking more like 100%. When the transition to fall and winter feels more like experiencing every season on the same day, there's the Allbirds Mizzle collection. These shoes were made for misty morning walks, surprise snow days, and anything a trip to the dog park might bring. The whole collection brings together water-repellent technology and classic style, so you can stay warm, dry, and comfy during your everyday adventures. Cross off errands with the splash protection on the Wool Runner Mizzle. Dash through cold and wet weather with all-condition traction and reflective details on the Wool Dasher Mizzle. Or upgrade to next-level protection with the Mudguard on the Wool Runner-Up Mizzle Plus. Go to allbirds.com and use code FRESHSOCKS for a free pair of socks with your purchase. ALLBIRDS.com, code FRESHSOCKS.
Nat Parker. Does all of this, is this a coincidence? Let's go deeper. So, like I said, on October the 7th, 2016, this particular movie came out. And it came out to selective theaters. And I don't know how many of our people went to support that movie. But I will say that I was one of the people who supported that movie, who saw the actual movie the day that it came out. And at that particular time, I went out early morning and went to go watch that movie. And just to have a clear mind, I didn't go in thinking anything of what Hollywood would depict who Nat Turner was, right? And how much of maybe they twisted the director's arm to say, hey, don't say that, say this. But at any rate, Nat, see, I called him Nat Parker, but his name is Nat Parker, the director of the movie The Birth of a Nation was depicting Nat Turner, as we said in the beginning of the podcast, as a Baptist preacher who lived on the Virginia plantation. He was owned by Samuel Turner, with rumors that kind of was going here and there, that this particular man was very intelligent. Samuel, Samuel, who was basically the owner of Nat Turner, should sermonize to other slaves. In the movie, he was sermonizing to other slaves like, hey, obey your masters because your master knows better. But then all of a sudden, in that movie, Nat was already a biblical man. He was already studying these things. He was already getting visions from the Most High, and then he would go out among his people and start telling them other things in coded languages. I saw the movie. The movie's great. I would advise any and everyone to go basically see the movie. And also, let's go back to the number thing. October the 7th, which we know that 7 is the complete number. For those who know about numbers, number is the God number. For those who really know about numbers, it came out in 2016. We are in 2014. We are in 2020. July 4th, 2020. That movie came out 4 years ago, right? 4 is our culture number. These are cultural things that we should know about his story and our story. Not just July 4th, bombs bursting in air, but what was going on during July 4th, 1800s to August 21st, 1800s. So let's add those numbers up. We had 4 years that this movie, The Birth of a Nation, came out, produced and directed by Nate Parker. We on July 4th. 4 plus 4 is 8. That's the bill number, as I said in the beginning, right? But you turn that 8 around, it's infinity. So it goes on and on and on and on and on. Also, Nat Turner had 40 folks with him to do this rebellion, right? It can't be all a coincidence. The numbers don't lie, people do. We'll be right back to close it out. Mental Salvation Radio.
Hey, hi! Tell them say ganja is healing of a nation. Rastaman make his participation. Ganja increase your knowledge and your education. The herb, me shouldn't be locked away in a police station. You know, you me tell you. Alright, yo, straight. Can't get lean, dirty get clean. Since herb come in pan the scene, straight. Can't get lean, dirty get clean. Since herb come in, yo, Babylon no like how the Rasta man a one, but a ganja man go use make we roll on. Give Admiral Bailey if he kill Molly Arm, we don't want Molly Arm. Ganja, Rasta man no leave that alone because me use it Billy Yellow man. Brand new jawbone. Marijuana me go use and build me cologne. Circle me in a me home. Ring, ding, ding. Me just get a call from me cellar. Who link me up now me DJ Sizzler. Send one to pound we go put in a whistler. Hey, wanna listen me lingua. Cho, ganja, me go put that in a me chalice. Light up the pop, light up the puppies, light up the queen, light up the palace. Now me ganja can't in a malice. Cause he make me straight. Can't get lean, dirty get clean. Good herb come in on the street. Make me straight. Can't get lean, dirty get clean. Since herb come in, hey yo, so straight. Can't get lean, dirty get clean. Good herb come in a pop in. Make me straight. Can't get lean, dirty get clean. Yo, the high grade herb link me. Informer leak said that them want sink me. I know carbon, no see say a blueprint me. Never get to catch me, say them only glimpse me. Inna them curfew when me circle see you. Once slip to bounty killer, him go ask them marijuana. Bring back Beanie Man.
So, The Birth of a Nation, the movie that was directed by Nate Parker, the box office sales, or box office for those who came to watch the movie, it was $16.8 million that the box office collected off of this movie. The budget of the movie was $8.5 million to make.
Me have to make preparation. Deliver the herb in any potion. Island wide or across the ocean. To ganja me make me devotion. And me have ganja shoes, pants, ganja lotion, ganja rubber, ganja turban, ganja car, ganja van, ganja house, ganja land. Me have a ganja woman because it's straight, can't get lean, dirty get clean. Since I've come in, I pop in, make you straight, can't get lean, dirty get clean. Open on no one meaning when me say straight, can't get lean, dirty get clean. Since I've come in, pan you say make you straight, can't get lean, dirty get clean.
So out of 10 stars, this movie was given a 6.4 out of 10 stars. This movie that our brother Nate Parker created, Hollywood or Hollyweird, gave it 6.4 stars. And also, you know, on Rotten Tomatoes, it was like 73%. So I wanted to know how many of us went to go support Nate Parker's depiction and movie premiere of our great ancestor Nat Turner. How many of you went to go see that movie in the theaters? How many of you have seen that movie, Nat Turner? How many of you have actually did your research on Nat Turner? How many of you have read anything on Nat Turner to describe, to figure out who this man was? As they said, if you Google Nat Turner, there's not many pictures of Nat Turner. There are pictures of people who have have illustrated what Nat Turner may look like. You know, but there's not too many pictures out there. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to Mental Salvation Radio. Also, at the top of the hour and throughout this podcast number 10, we have played Bob Marley's Selassie is the Chapel, followed by Burning Spear, Columbus. Also, another Burning Spear song called Social Living. And right after Social Living, we played Nat Turner by Enoch 7 Prophet, and that is off of the A Minute of Your Time album that me and King C produced and shared to the world. That particular song is called Nat Turner. Also, Cultural Wars I by Groundation. And also, again, I played Nat Turner, Enoch 7 Prophet. Then right after that was Let Your Heart Be Pure by Leroy Smart. Also, we played African Skies by Luciano. Joy and Earth by Luton Fire. And you just finished hearing Straight Can't Lean, Morgan Heritage and Anthony B. This is season 1, podcast 10. This is the closing out of season 1, and we wanted to close it out on a righteous note. We wanted to close it out on some storytelling. I read from a book and other points about Nat Turner. But I read from a book today that you should go get if you feel the need to. It's called Nat Turner's Slave Rebellion, including the 1831 Confessions. It's written by a brother by the name of Herbert. I can't even pronounce the last name, so I'm going to try. Apartiker. So Herbert Apartiker, if I'm pronouncing that right. But the book is called Nat Turner's Slave Rebellion, including the 1831 Confessions of Nat Turner. All right. Also, before we go, big up to Wow Radio for allowing us to speak our minds here and try to keep this show clean and uplifting and play uplifting music that's enjoyable for your family and friends. Also, you can keep in contact with us on www.wowuradio.net/shows. Mental Salvation Radio is also on iHeartRadio right now. All 10 episodes will be and are on iHeartRadio. Also, we are on Apple Podcast and Google Podcast, so check us out there. We are now going into our hiatus, and we're going to step back and gather our thoughts, and we'll be back for season 2 of Mental Salvation Radio on August the 1st. If that particular date changes, I will let everyone know through social media, and we will also be building a social media platform that we can stay in touch with those followers and those who want to be informed about Mental Salvation Radio. Also, big up to our 2 sponsors who have been graciously enough to allow us to shout their ideas and concepts and businesses to the world. Big up to Royal Keepers Product, Hair and Skin Products. Big up to you as well. And follow them on www.royalkeepersproducts.com or check them out on their social media platforms at Royal Keepers Shop and or LocksWorld_1 Love. Also, Jazzy Ass Designs. You can follow her on her social media platforms at Jazzy Ass Designs. That's Instagram, Jazzy Ass Designs, JAZEAZ Designs, or www.sandraclarkdesigns.com. That's CHANDRA Clark Designs.com. And once again, before I let you go, finish out your day. Today is July the 4th, 2020, on a blessed Saturday. On a blessed Saturday afternoon. Also, if you are into history, please Google this brother, our elder, Dr. Claude Anderson. And Claude Anderson asked the question, what is the golden rule? He asked the question in an interview. What's the golden rule? And he said, whoever has the gold rules. Instead of you calling yourself African American or these particular other names, he said you should call yourself a native black. All right, Dr. Claude Anderson. Also, Dr. Claude Anderson said, you cannot control politics in these streets. Build community wealth. After you build community wealth, then you can control what goes on in politics. But he also said, the elder also said, you cannot control politics in these streets. Dr. Claude Anderson. Also, Dr. Claude Anderson said, a willingness ass will carry a heavy load. A willingness ass will carry a heavy load. Dr. Claude Anderson. Mental Salvation Radio always says when we close out our show, no matter how cloudy it gets, the sun will always shine. We will see y'all next time. You will hear my voice next time. If the Most High's will, you will hear my voice next time. We always give thanks to the African ancestors who allow us to be here. We always give thanks for the African ancestors. Nat Turner. We always give thanks for the African ancestors. Harriet Tubman. We always give thanks to the African ancestors of Martin Luther King. We always give thanks to the African ancestors of Marcus Garvey. We always give thanks to the African ancestors Sojourner Truth. We always give thanks to the African ancestors Haile Selassie. We always give thanks to the African ancestors Queen Menin. We always give thanks for those who came before us and those who will come after us. Mental Salvation Radio.
This generation rules the nation with version. Music answer the food of love. Songs to really make you rub and scrub. Dang ba dang middly bang bang biddly bang. I say
Pass the dutchie on the left hand side. Pass the dutchie on the left hand side. It a go bun.
Give me the music, make me jump and pump.
It a go done.
Give me the music, make me
Jano. It was a cool and lonely, breezy afternoon.
How does it feel when you got no food?
I could feel it cause it was the month of
How
June.
does it feel when you got no food?
So I left my gate and went out for a walk.
How does it feel when you got no food?
As I passed the dreadlocks camp, I heard them say,
How does it feel when you got no food?
pass the dutchie on the left hand side. Pass the dutchie on the left hand side. It a go bun.
Give me the music, make me jump and prance.
It a go done.
Give me the music, make me
Jano.
looking at the dance. Bang bang middly bang bang middly bang.
So I stopped to find out what was going on.
How does it feel when you got no food?
Cause the spirit of Jah, you know he leads you
How
on.
does it feel when you got no food?
There was a ring of dreads and the session was there in swing.
How does it feel when you got no food?
And you could feel the chill as I seen and heard them
How
say,
does it feel when you got no food?
pass the dutchie on the left hand side. Pass the dutchie on the left hand side. It a go fun.
Give me the music, make me jump and prance.
It a go done.
Give me the music, make me
Jano.
looking at the dance. Come me say listen to the drum and me say listen to the bass. Give me little music, make me wind up me waist. Me say listen to the drum and me say listen to the bass. Give me little music, make me wind up me waist. I say
Pass the dutchie on the left hand side. Pass the dutchie on the left hand side. It a go bun.
give me the music, make me jump and prance.
It a go done.
Give me the music, make me
Jano.
looking at the dance. You play it on the radio, and so me say we a go hear it on the stereo. And so me know we a go play it on the disco. And so me say we a go hear it on the stereo. Whoa.
Pass the dutchie on the left hand side. Pass the dutchie on the left hand side. It a go bun.
Give me the music, make me jump and prance.
It a go done.
Give me the music, make me
Jano.
looking at the dance.
On the left hand side. 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 On the left hand side.
We say east, say west,
On the
say
left
north
hand
and
side.
south. This is gonna really
On
make me
the
jump
left hand
and
side.
jump. We say east, say west,
On
say
the
north
left hand
and
side.
south. This is gonna really make me jump and jump.
We're all looking to make more sustainable choices, but making your own shoes out of natural materials could pose a few challenges. The twigs and leaves in your backyard aren't exactly comfortable, and while mud does perfectly contour the feet, it doesn't score high on the durability front. But thanks to Allbirds, you can skip all the backyard experimentation. At the Allbirds Innovation Lab, they're doing all the sciencey stuff, like research and testing to create shoes from natural, sustainable materials. And their innovative processes mean using less of the bad stuff and more of the good, while making shoes unlike any other. Like the Plant Pacer, made with 100% plastic-free plant leather. The Tree Dasher, a running shoe made from eucalyptus tree fiber. And from sugarcane, they've made the Superlight, their lightest shoe ever by weight and carbon footprint. It's not rocket science, it's shoe science. Allbirds is making shoes better than natural. They're supernatural. Find your perfect pair at allbirds.com today. That's ALLBIRDS.com.